Alright, we're going to start with TROPE's Dawn Light, a small flower-shaped insignia. If you listen carefully, you can almost hear a flute playing and voices singing. A small flower-shaped insignia. There seems to be music coming from it. Among the members of the trope was a charismatic swordswoman, beautiful as the light on water, elegant as the chirping lark. Her every slash hummed a tune of the wind. I just read that. The end of each song and dance was like the sun after the rain. Dust had since settled, and both the stage and life itself feel emptier for the absence of her music. Both her music and her sword were as lethal as they were beautiful. This was in keeping with the trope's performances, which were intended for two very different audiences. For the audience of foes, the music drifted far beyond the stage. Ooh. And that was the flower of life. The bard's arrow feather, an azure arrow fletching that has neither faded nor splintered with the passage of time. The sound of running water seems to linger around it. An azure arrow fletching that has survived the test of time. The fletching seems to produce a tune as the arrow flies through the air. The harpist of the trope was also a skilled archer. Legend has it that he could lure the birds in the sky with his harp and then shoot them down with his arrows. It is said that he never looked at the sky. While he was playing the harp to lure the birds. Some believed the reason was his harpist's arrogance, while his companions said it was his hunter's mercy. Mercy, I like that word. The ill-fated birds became the fletchings of the harpist's arrows, and the sound of the harp became the bird's elegy. How tragic for the birds. That's pretty cool, though. We've heard of these. We read a book about the trope, right? I feel like they were mentioned before. Concert's final hour. The sands. An hourglass used to keep time during a band performance. It once made a crisp sound, but the performance has since ended. Hi, Rastafaris. Welcome in. We're reading Wanderer's Trope. The trope's hourglass, which is also a harp. The tune becomes deeper with the passage of time. When the performance was coming to an end. Excuse me, I have to hiccup. Oh, I can't. Okay, we're good. Holding your breath works, chat. That usually never works for me. Alright, let me start over. The trope's hourglass, which is also a harp. The tune becomes deeper with the passage of time. When the performance was coming to an end, the trope would play this harp. As time passed, the tune of the harp became deeper. The sound of the harp dying down marked the end of the show. Everything has an end, and the trope was no exception. One by one, each member of the trope met their fate, and their instruments were buried deep in the dust. As the harp fell silent, the final sound heard from the musical trope was the faint trickle of sand as it slid down the hourglass, one final time. That's kind of sad. But true, everything ends. That's so sad, chat. Right? Such a tragic end. Oh boy. Finally finished watching League of Legends? Oh? Was there a championship? I used to watch the Koreans play. I don't know anything about League, but it was fun to watch. Wanderer's String Kettle. The Goblet. An ancient, strangely shaped canteen. The interior is fitted with harp strings, which played a wondrous tune as the water flows out. I like that idea. That's pretty cool. A strangely shaped kettle that plays a wondrous tune as the water flows out. There was always music in the life of a trope member, even when drinking water. Chat, hydrate. An ancient tale tells of a wandering trope that roamed the land. For flutes they had swords, and for harps they had bows. They performed not only for friends, but also for foes. They travelled through the desert and set foot in the blazing mare Jivari. Is that right? The tune of the harp echoing in the kettle was a reminder for them. Along with the boundless tunes we walk, wherever there is music, there is us. I feel like Kazuha. Is Wanderers good for Kazuha? Because I feel like we're reading about his story. League is fun to watch, not so much fun to play. That makes sense. Alright, chat. The last of the Wanderer's trope. Is it the bow that I have on Ganyu? I'm still trying to think, where have I heard about this Wanderer's trope? Is it the bow? The string bow? What is it that I have on Ganyu? Does that mention it? Stringless? Maybe. I don't know. We'll check in a minute. Alright, next and last in this set is the conductor's top hat. A top hat that has managed to retain its radiance despite braving the elements for time untold. An ancient tune still resonates within. A beautiful top hat, untouched by time. Listening closely, one can almost hear an ancient tune echoing inside the hat. Thousands of years ago, a trope wandered through the lands. The trope owned not a single shred of sheet music. What they saw was what they sung, and what they heard was what they played. As time passed, the trope gradually released. As time passed, the trope gradually realized the vastness of the world. There are so many things in the world for us to sing of. The members then turned the notes into words and recorded their journey in a book. This book, the Winsith, as they call it, was still held tightly in the conductor's hand, even after his death. It's bloody Winsith, guys! I'm sitting here like, is it the bow? Is that where I heard of this? Have I read Winsith before? The flute sword is related too, that makes sense. The flute and Winsith. There's also a book, I think, that tells how the trope died in Mondstadt. Have we read that book? This is so tragic, but also beautiful. I love when it said they played not only for friends, but for foes. Music. Quite a beautiful thing. Can be painful, chat.